What's going on, hip hop fans? Welcome to another edition of Hip Hop Head. My name is Julian Williams, and I'm doing a review of Beast Mode by Juvenile. Um, Ninth record, and this record is downright awful. I'm gonna straight up say what the rating of the record is right at this moment. I rated this record 1.5 out of 5. I rated this 1.5 out of 5 because me as a hip hop fan, I'm looking for lyrics. Rather than a nice beat and a catchy hook and catchy choruses. And listening to this album, Juvenile really depended on catchy hooks and choruses. And those hooks and choruses were very repetitive, and it seemed like that's what he was looking for throughout the record rather than focusing on the lyrics. Now, Juvenile's records such as Soldier Rags, 400 Degrees, G Code, Project English, Juvie the Great, and before this, not Cocky and Confident, but the one before that, Reality Check. All those were pretty good records. They were decent records, and all the way up to Juvie the Great, he was on Cash Money Records. He had another record before that. I think it was called Being Myself, which was a decent record. And after that, Soldier Rags, all the way to Juvie the Great, were on Cash Money, and under Cash Money when he was under Manny Fresh, those were some of the Manny Fresh had some great beats, and Juvenile had put together some very good songs under him, like such as Soldier Rags was a good one. I Got That Fire, which even had a feature from Jay-Z on the remix. Back That Ass Up, Set It Off was a good song, and all of these songs such as Rodeo and She Get It From Her Mama, all those type of songs were pretty good, very decent. And Rodeo was a song that was produced by Cool and Dre, and the rest that I mentioned were songs that were produced by Manny Fresh. This record has no production from Manny Fresh at all. His last record, I don't think had any production from Manny Fresh, but this one had, it's completely, it's produced by different producers, and this whole entire record, underground producers. Juvenile, who's pretty much known for his bounce music for the New Orleans and Louisiana underground scene, which was very popular probably around the late 90s, early 2000s. And the thing with Juvenile on this record is you see no progression. He's still trying to make records like Back That Ass Up, like We Drop That Ass In. And there's another song on the record, I don't remember the name to it, but he's just trying to relive his old days back with Cash Money. And rap fans have moved on and grown up since then, moved on to other artists. So Juvenile is still stuck in the past and still making past music. So still making bounce music. It's like if you listen to Michael Jackson's Thriller record, and then you listen to Bad, and then you listen to Dangerous. It's like a progression, a different pattern of music, because he was making music that was suitable for that time. And Juvenile's not doing that. He's pretty much making music that he's comfortable making, and not only is he comfortable making, but music that just sounds very outdated. Bounce music is outdated now. That's why a lot of the artists who were pretty popular back then in the New Orleans scene, really not heard of or heard from now, because styles have changed in the last 13 years. Styles have changed, and Juvenile's is not. Juvenile's still very stagnant, and it's like this with Juvenile. If he has a good beat, he'll rap up to that beat. But if he has a bad one, he'll rap down to that beat. So that's a major problem with Juvenile, is the fact that there's no progression with him as an artist. Everything just seems to be getting worse with Juvenile. So I did rate this record 1.5 out of 5. I rated 1.5 out of 5 because this is a record we all heard before with Juvenile. It's not on the level of 400 Degrees, which was an underground classic. Not on the same level as Soldier Rags, or G Code, or Project English, or Juvie the Great, or any of his other records. This is not on the same level, but but all these songs sound like fillers on 400 Degrees and Soldier Rags. It's pretty much what these songs sound like. Songs that were pretty much recycled from that. He really depended on the hooks and choruses rather than lyrics on this record, and also he depended on, I guess, on beats, and the beats were very mediocre. And me personally, when I listen to a hip hop record, I don't really listen to the beats all that much. I listen to how the rapper flows over those beats, and Juvenile didn't flow all too well with the beats, and it was just a bad record. And I don't think he took too much time, put too much time into this record, because he put out Cocky and Confident back in December, and now it's July and he's putting out another album. So I don't think he put in the time that he should have to make a quality record. That's just my opinion. And also, if you look at the cover, it looks similar to the cover of Drake's album, Thank Me Later. Both covers look very similar. Very, very ironic due to the fact that Juvenile was Cash Money's first big star, and now Drake's Cash Money's big breakout star, which is interesting, very, very ironic and very bizarre. But this overall was just a horrible record, one of the worst records. I just listened to one of the best records of the year, Solutions Left Foot by Big Boy, and this here is perhaps one of the worst. One of the worst records, and I think that Juvenile really needs to step it up on the next album. Maybe take a little more time to make a better record on the next, on the next try. Hopefully, maybe he could do like his fellow cohort at BG and re-sign to Cash Money or something. And Juvie has proved that he could do pretty well without Cash Money. But BG was putting out strong records. Living Legend was a strong record. Heart of the Streets Volume 1, very strong record. Life After Cash Money, strong record. And this is Juvenile's third record without Cash Money. And this one was very weak, one of his weakest records. Cocky and Confident was quite weak as well, but in my opinion, I did think that Reality Check was quite strong. It was a little average, but it was quite strong. This one was just very weak. It was just very weak in my opinion. So anyway, 1.5 out of 5. I'll be back next week to do Currency, Pilot Talk. Very highly anticipated record for myself due to the fact that he had some great mixtapes. So I will be back next week to do Pilot Talk by Currency. But anyway, thanks for checking out the Hip Hop Head. My name is Julian Williams. Tune in again. Peace.